If when this yogi is reveling in this joy, has become one with this joy, one with this infinite reality, Brahma Bhuttam, he has become that. It is not that he is happy. He is not happy. He is happiness. Akalmasham. There is no impurity or anything polluting. It means it is pure bliss. Nothing else. This is the state of a yogi. Evam yunjan sadatmanam. So he is saying, so this way, every day if you practice also. Here also the word in the 27th verse as well as the 28th verse, in both these verses the word yogi is used. But you have to understand, Bhagavan when he is using the word yogi, he is meaning both. Even a sadhak he is using yogi only. A seeker also is referred to as yogi, and the one who has successfully attained the goal of meditation also is used yogi only. So in this 27th verse, it says, the one who has attained that goal, become one with that infinite happiness, Brahman, is free from all impurity, all sorts of rajoguna, tamoguna, etc. And he is established in that bliss which is beyond the mind. He becomes one with it. So he is not happy, he is happiness. But if you also do it every day, yunjan evam sada atmanam yogi vigata kalmasha. This yogi is the seeker telling us that if you also do it every day, vigata kalmasha, with your mind, sinless mind, if you also are able to apply yourself and walk this path, practice this meditation as it was said, Shanai, Shanai, Ruparami, Yato, Yato, Nishcharati, Tatastato, Niyamya, all this, if you practice sada, continuously, consistently, every day, regularly, sincerely, if it is practiced, then Sukhena Brahma Samsparsham Atyantam Sukhamashnate. Such a seeker also attains that supreme infinite bliss. As though he is touching that Brahma Samsparsham. Samsparsham means, for example, if there is something, this texture is very nice, so when I touch it also I get that joy. So nice. Or if let us say some oil is there, I touch, the touching of the oil, it suddenly makes my skin feel hydrated and moisturized and so nice. The touch itself nourishes. Similarly, if we think about the touch of infinite bliss, what will happen to us? Like, if it is very, very cold, in places where it's very, very cold, they have fireplaces, and then you go near. That touch of the heat of fire, it keeps you warm and it feels so nice. Touch. If it is very cold, if it is very hot, and then the air gone. So nice touch. Similarly, and living the life of sorrow all the time. Suddenly, Brahma Samsparsh, the touch of that infinite bliss, Brahman. It is not physical in nature. It is that experience without even the senses and the mind and the intellect. That direct experience, that is me. Brahma Samsparsham. Sukhena. One can easily reach that. Atyantam Sukhamashnute. Such a person experiences happiness, Atyantam, extreme happiness. boundless happiness. There is no end to it. There is no limit to it. That kind of infinite happiness is experienced. And this happiness can never be experienced as separate from myself. This happiness can be experienced only as myself, not as something different from myself. So this oneness can be attained by consistently practicing this sadhana, this meditation. So it is giving us not only guidance but also hope that if I walk this path, I can also get that. But after hearing this also, I still have a question. Now, endless questions. What is your question now? The question is, by chance, let us say, I do this and I get this. Then, what will happen to this world? What will happen to my family? I suddenly realize I am wrong. And what about my family? What will happen to this world? I have taken so much of responsibility of this world on my shoulders. If I suddenly realize, and what will happen to this world? Useless questions I will have. Never will I practice even an iota of what is being told. But I have this kind of useless questions. What will be my vision? How will I see this world? How will I live in this world? Bhagavan is saying, do at least, take 2 steps at least. I will take one. Be patient. You only do it. Be patient. What should I do? You tell me. What is that vision of a person who has realized this? Who has reached the goal? For that person, is this world still there? Because we have read so many different types of things in the scriptures that suddenly once you realize the supreme reality or the infinite happiness and consciousness that is you, then suddenly the world will disappear. World disappears means where am I standing then? What is there around me? And what about the money that I have kept in the bank? Should I share my password before sitting for meditation? Otherwise they will also not get anything. What should I do? Many people don't practice meditation with this worry. And what happens if I realize on the seat of meditation? But we don't have to worry about it. So, no, I'm not saying we don't have to worry about it because we won't get it. Because it is taken care of, it will be all taken care of. That is what it is. So what does it say? So here in the next 4 verses, very, very beautiful 4 verses, which are, we cannot say describing because description is impossible, indicating to some extent what would be the vision of that person, a yogi, who has reached the supreme state through this path of meditation. What will be that vision? Already said he will be, he means the HE which comes in the word she also. So, we already have discussed that he will be like experiencing that infinite bliss as his own self. But what about, so earlier also it was said that what will be such a person's vision with respect to experiences, with respect to objects, with respect to people, that was his transactions. And here his vision is described. Transaction with the objects, with the people, with the experiences is different. That he is equanimous towards everyone. But here he is talking about what will be his experience, what will he see? Will he still keep seeing enemies and friends, or what do you call, a lump of clay and stone and gold, will he still keep seeing all these things? Of course, he will see all these things and he will be able to distinguish these things, he will be able to recognize these things, no doubt about it, for the worldly transactions, which has already been talked about. But here the vision of that yogi is talked about. So we read verse number 29. Sarvabhutani Chatmani Ikshate Yoga Yuktatma Sarvatra Samadarshanaha. How does he see this whole world? What does he see in this whole world? If we go to a jeweler or a goldsmith or someone with any ornament, let us say we go with 2 bangles that has been handed over from generation to generation, it has reached to me, and I go to a goldsmith or I go to a jeweler and I say, what is this, can you tell me how much is this, what cost, or how much it will fetch, or if I want to make something else, can you make something else? So what does the goldsmith or the jeweler see, and what do we see in that bangle? That bangle for us, I see my great grandmother was wearing it, then my grandmother wore it, then my mother wore it, and now it has come to me, passed on through so many generations. So I look at all those things. Or what will I say? This size of this bangle is very small, I cannot wear it. So if it was a little bigger, I'll be able to wear it. The designs on it, the carvings and all, now because of so many years, it has all become, very unclear and it has just become flat. So we need to get it designed again, the shape, the size, all these things I will pay attention. Where is that jeweler? Is he going to look at all the things? He will first check. He is not checking the design. He is not checking the size. He is not checking who wore it and all. What is it? How pure is this gold? And for a trained eye, it will be immediately evident. This is how pure is it. And if they need, they will run some quick test and then they say, okay, this. Once they know the purity of it, immediately it will be put on the scale, weighing scale. So what is the purity? How much weight? Accordingly calculate. What is today's rates? So much. This is what it is. What is this jeweler? You are not. I can't give you little. After all, great grandmother's sentimental value. He has no sentimental value. He says, I have only gold value. Why? Because I am seeing only the gold which is valuable in this, nothing else. So what do I see? I see an entire story in that bangle. What is he seeing? He is seeing gold. And he is seeing gold not just in the bangle that I have carried. If anyone carries a nose ring, there also he will see gold. If someone carries an anklet, there also he will see gold. And all the entire showroom that he has, in every ornament he is going to see gold. And that training of seeing gold and recognizing gold in everything, to the extent that sometimes gold also is covered by a layer of silver or platinum or something which doesn't look like gold. It is not that usual yellow color, but still that person says this is gold. How do you know? It looks like silver. It looks like silver, but it is gold. How do you know? I can see it. Can I see it? No. He can see it. Why? Because he is being only focusing on seeing the gold, and that alone is real for him. So if we take any imitation which He will say there is no value, keep it with me. This has no value. Why? There is no gold in it. Now similar to this, if we look at, we must have heard this incident that once Sita ji was so very pleased with Hanumanji's seva that she gave him a very, very beautiful pearl necklace. And after some time she saw that all the pearls were all broken and lying there. So she got so enraged that such a beautiful pearl necklace I gave you, why have you broken? She said, I was just looking if there is Ram inside. There is no Ram inside, so it is not useful to me. Why? Because he is used to only seeing Ram. So wherever Ram is, in everything he sees Ram. Other than that, he can't see anything else. So here the yogi also, what is he seeing? Sarva bhutastham, present in all beings, Atman, that self, that infinite blissful self is seen in everything. But like the jeweler who keeps recognizing the gold in all ornaments, such an eye continues to see that gold only after some time. What will be the knowledge of that person, or what will be the vision of that person? That vision of that person will be, it is not that gold is in all ornaments, because there is much more gold in this world than all the ornaments put together. Because gold can be in the mines also. Gold can be in other forms like biscuits and bricks. Gold can be in so many forms which are not ornaments. So now, is gold in the ornaments, or are all the ornaments in gold? Once I keep looking at the gold and giving it reality and importance, my vision only transforms. And I start seeing gold as the substratum and all the ornaments as a part of it, as supported by it. Sarva bhutastham atmanam, seeing that reality, that supreme consciousness in all the beings, and sarva bhutani cha atmani, and seeing all this in that one self. The same thing will be talked about in the 9th chapter also, and a demonstration will be given in the 10th and 11th chapter also, where to see, recognize the one in the many, that is called vibhuti, and to recognize the many in the one is called yoga. Here in the Bhagavad Gita, the 11th chapter says Vishwarupa Darshana, that is yoga. To see the cosmic form of the Lord which contains this entire universe. So that one reality which contains all this variety. And to be able to, but before that, the beginning, where does it happen? I see that one reality pervading all the variety. So first I think gold is in the ornament. After that I start understanding that actually it is the ornament which is in it. I feel in every wave that rises in the ocean, there is water. But after some time only I understand that every wave exists in water only. Without water, waves cannot exist. So what is the substratum? So the substratum is recognized first to pervade everything and later to contain everything. So sarva bhutastham atmanam sarva bhutani cha atmani. This way a yogi is able to experience this universe. Ikshate yoga yukatma, the one who is established in this self through meditation, is able to see this this way. See means not with these eyes. This is a vision of knowledge. Sarvatra, Samadarshana. Such a person is called Samadarshi. Samadarshi means is not that cannot distinguish between things. Samadarshi means that which is common in everything he is able to see. So if a yogi is able to have a vision of commonality, whatever is common in everything he is able to recognize, which means what is the sadhana for me? That which comes naturally to a great saint is actually for me the effort. And what effort do I have to put? I have to start putting effort to recognize the commonalities and not give too much of importance to the differences. This is the spirit which can actually bring in harmony in the society and peace in the world. We are all talking about conflicts and wars and all these things. This vision is what will bring about complete harmony. Whether it is in a family unit or in the entire world. Any level, this vision is alone in the help. And that is why Bhagavad Gita is considered to be the universal scripture. And how do you get this? Not by holding meetings and conferences. This one gets by studying the scriptures, walking the path recommended by them, performing our sadhanas, being regular and sincere and consistent in our meditation practice, and ultimately gaining this vision. After that, there is no two, there is nobody else. So having said this in the third person, now Bhagavan is talking something in the first person also. And he is saying, Yo mam pashyati sarvatra,
Yo mam pashyati sarvatra,
sarvam cha mai pashyati,
sarvam cha mai pashyati,
tasyaham na pranashyami,
tasyaham na pranashyami,
sacha me na pranashyati. Yo mam pashyati sarvatra. Now the same thing here, that which he said in third person, now he is talking in first person. He says, such a person, such a yogi, who is able to see me everywhere, mam pashyati sarvatra, sarvam cha mai pashyati, and sees everything in me. Me in everything, one in the many, and everything in me, many in the one. The one who is able to see this. Now, if I can see one in the many as well as many in the one, what does it mean? If I can see many in the one and one in the many, both, then what does it mean? It means there is no many, there is only one. It cannot be two. It cannot be many. Because I am seeing both. I am seeing one in the many, many in the one both. Yo mam pashyati sarvatra, sarvam cha mai pashyati. If such a person has this kind of provision, such a person, tasya aham na pranashyami, sacha me na pranashyati. I never disappear for him and he never disappears for me. Means there is no absence of me in his life and there is no absence of him in my life. Means we are never away from each other. What does it mean? We are not two. Means he and I are not this. The realized master is not different from God. So, such a person with this vision, or such a person he says, there is no two. There is no God separate from me. So Bhagavan is saying, Tasya aham na pranashyami. The only entity whose absence I can never experience is myself. Everything else I can, anything other than me, I can experience its absence. So if Bhagavan is saying that he is never absent for me and I am never absent for him, means what? We are one and the same. What a great statement Bhagavan has given. And this is not about some realized person in the past 5,000 years ago, some the greatest vision for such a person. And so now he is saying for such a person, this world, he sees himself in everything and everything in himself. Then he says he sees me in everything and everything in me. And now the same thing, he is changing some words, some terminologies and giving that same vision. Again in the 31st verse saying that, we will read the 31st and the 32nd verse. Sarva bhuta sthitam yo mam,
सर्वभूतस्थितं यो मां
bhajatyekatma-sthitah,
भजत्येकत्वमाश्रितः
sarvatha vartamanopi,
सर्वथा वर्तमानोऽपि
sa yogi mayi vartate,
स योगी मयि वर्तते
atmopamyena sarvatra,
आत्मौपम्येन सर्वत्र
samam pashyati yorjuna,
समं पश्यति योऽर्जुन
sukham va yadi va dukkham,
सुखं वा यदि वा दुःखं
sa yogi paramo matah.
स योगी परमो मतः
Sarvabhuta sthitam mam. This yogi who has seen me established or pervading every being, such a person, when he ekatma-sthita bhajati, when he adores me, worships me, how? Not by putting flowers and water and all those things. Ekatma-sthita, becoming one with him. But the greatest worship is to have this vision and be one. Not seeing any difference. That is the greatest worship. Why? Why is it called the greatest worship? Because my ego does not assert its independent identity after that. Because that ego has fully surrendered and dissolved into that infinite. And after that, I don't exist at all. So what is the offering I have given in this worship? That independent existence only I have given up. This is what is conveyed. This is the spirit of doing namaskar. When we do namaskar, this is what is the spirit. We say that no ashtanga namaskar, dandavat namaskar. So when we fall flat and do namaskar, what does it mean? The meaning is, I am not another second independent entity standing beside you or in front of you. I give up that identity. So this becomes the supreme worship of the Lord. That is why in the 9 types of devotion also, this devotion of complete prostration and surrender, Vandanam, is said. That is one of the great ways of expressing devotion or reaching that state of devotion. So, bhajati ekatma-sthita, such a person, sarvatha vartamanopi, whatever that person may be engaged in, however that person may be living, sayogi mani vartate, he is actually living in me. Living in me means what? There is nothing different. Living in me, as me, with me, whatever you want to call. There is no preposition required. Nothing required. He is me. So there is no difference. That is his vision. And that is the state, if we have to call, that is the result of meditation. Sayogi, mayi vartate. So all the time, everywhere, he can only see him. He is becoming. And that is why realized masters are revered in our culture. That is why we even worship the realized master. That is why we do Pada Puja, Paduka Puja, all these things are done for that reason. Because now they are not another entity separate from God. So that is why when we say Guru Govind Do Khade Bhakti Upai, no, it is nice to understand that only Guru only took me to Bhagavan, so I fall at the feet of the Guru. But someone asked Gurudev, that if like this something happens to me, then what should I do? Should I fall at your feet or should I go to Bhagavan's feet? What should I do? Gurudev in his inimitable witty style, he said, first of all, nothing like that will happen to you, don't worry. But even if it happens, Gurudev said, you think your Guru will be standing next to Bhagavan and say, okay, tell me. If he is standing like that, he will be already at his feet. The Guru would be already at the feet of the Lord. There would be no two entities standing in front of him. There would be only one. So this Bhagavan is saying this vision is called Sarvatma Bhava. Sarvatma Bhava means everything is my own self. The self in me is the self in all. This is called Sarvatma Bhava. Where there is no two, there is no separation, there is no difference. See, at other levels, at the level of the body, at the level of the mind, thoughts, etc., there will be differences and that can never go. It will be there. But once I recognize the self, then at that level, there is no two. Like, even if it is a goldsmith or a jeweler, if you give him, let's say bangles and earrings and necklace and anklets, he will not get confused as to where to wear them. He will not say, all is gold, so put bangles on your ears, put earrings on your wrist. And he will not have any such confusion. It will be worn wherever it is supposed to be worn. But his vision is only of gold. He is not looking at other things and he is not giving too much of importance or reality to other things, value to other things. So the Sarvatma Bhava, the saint also, the master also is seeing everything, but there is only one supreme consciousness, and that is where his vision lies. That is what he is seeing. And therefore, Atma-upamyena sarvatra samam pashyati Arjuna. Hey Arjuna, the one who is able to see that commonality everywhere. How? Atma-upamyena. To recognize commonality in other things is one thing. But to recognize commonality in other things and myself, that is very different. Otherwise I can say, this is also cloth, this is also cloth, this is also shade of red, this is also shade of red. I know, I can see commonality. But what is the common between this and this and this? That I don't know. Well, this is a living being, this is a non-living being. This is to keep object, this is to sit on it, and this is the one who is sitting on it. How can I find what is? There is nothing common, because that is what we see. But Atma-upamyena sarvatra samam pashyati Arjuna. So one who is able to see that samam, that commonality, that Brahman in everything, that self in everything, as oneself, Atma-upamyena, likened to oneself. Sukham va yadi va dukham, whether it is a pleasurable experience or a pain-giving experience, whether it is a person who is a joy-giving person or a painful person, doesn't matter. But is he able to see and is he able to connect at the level of the self? That is what a realized master does. That is what a person who has achieved the goal of meditation effortlessly is able to do. But I can see that. Sukham va yadiva dukkha. Whether it is difficult situation or an easy situation. Any type of person, whatever it is, but I am able to see that. And that is why in Ramayana also, after sunset, Ramchandraji used to ask the Vanaras to do the last rites of these Rakshasas. They said, why should we? So they were fighting against us while they were alive. Now there is no enmity. They also deserve the same respectful farewell and homage. So they were also asked. So what to do? It is the same. Expressions are different. It is the same. For example, if you plug in and there are two types of toys. One toy goes and breaks things, and another toy goes and maybe plays some music or something. These two toys both have expressions of electricity only. But am I able to see electricity or am I able to see their action? Yes, actions may be different. But if I see the electricity, what can I do? I can remove the plug of that destroying thing. But I do not hate that toy. I do not hate it. I see when so the only plug thing. So remove it. Cut the electricity. It will stop. It has remained like that already. So there is no hatred. Atma-mumena sarvatra samam nashyati Arjuna sukham va yadiva dukkam sa yogi paramo mataha. Such a person, such a yogi is the greatest among all the other yogis. Who is able to see everyone as one's own self. Now there is a very important caution that here we have to understand, that it is not that everyone is like me, so I expect everyone should think like me, everyone should do like me, everyone should feel like me. Because thinking, doing, being and all those things are at the level of the body, mind, intellect, which is not same. Atma-mumena means what? Beyond body, mind, intellect, that consciousness, at that level, one. At the level of the body, it will be different. At the level of the mind, it will be different. We will think differently, and that thinking differently is necessary for society to progress and function. So once I understand that in essence we are one, expressions are different, then I make use of these expressions and make my life beautiful. But if I only consider that expression to be the reality and miss out on the essence, I don't see anything common. There will only be differences, and I will not be able to peacefully live with or coexist with anyone else, whether human beings or other species. So that is why we understand that this vision of oneness, this vision of the self in me is the self in all, is the loftiest vision of a master who has attained the supreme goal of meditation. After this, Sri Krishna Bhagavan stops. Over. Now, everything, what is meditation? Who is the eligible meditator? How he should do? What are the obstacles that may come about? What is the attainment after that? And how you can overcome these obstacles? How can attain, and after attainment, what would be the vision of that master? Everything, all subject matter related topics are all done, concluded. So Bhagavan stopped. So 6th chapter is over. But now Arjuna is asking a question. And this question, this chapter, Arjuna's question is too good. We get not only love and respect for God, for Sri Krishna, but we get respect for Arjuna also. The way he has listened, we understand from his question that how attentively he has listened and how much he has become one with that Bhagavan and how tuned he he is asking some questions which need clarification. Bhagavan will give clarification. But the way he is asking, the words he is using, stupid. So we'll take that up tomorrow. Arjuna's request for some more clarity and information. Om